Computers. We are living in an era of technology, and all of us are surrounded by technology. This era is now the advanced age of computing technology, but it is not there from the early ages of technological development. Initially, the computer is not so updated, as well as it is not in hand of the common man. Computer was that device which only was available to the scientists. But nowadays it is easily in reach for everyone. Computer is used everywhere, from hospitals to banks, from school to homes, from airport to railway station. There is hardly a place left without the usage of computers. Now, let us learn about the history of the computer through which the modern computer came into existence. History of computers. As you know, computers are very useful and fast machines. But in earlier times, there were different types of calculating devices used for performing calculations. The first computer was very big and covered the whole room. Right from abacus, the first counting device, many devices were invented, leading to the development of the computer. Let us study how it evolved. Ancient calculating devices. Abacus. Abacus was the first calculating device invented in China around 3000 BC. Abacus was the first mechanical device for calculations developed in China. It was made up of a wooden frame with rods, each having beads. It was used to perform simple calculation like addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. It is still used in Asia and Africa. Napier's bones. This device was made in 1616 by Sir John Napier. It had numbers carved on bones or strips of wood. It was used for addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, and to find the square root of a number. Pascaline. In 1641, Blaise Pascal invented the first mechanical calculator, the Pascaline. It consisted of a rectangular box with movable wheels. It could be used for those basic arithmetic operations, just like a calculator, but could be used for 1000 digits. Popular IT inventions. First computer. Difference engine, 1821. Charles Babbage, also known as father of computer, started working on the difference engine, which is based on the principle of finite differences. It uses only arithmetic addition and removes the need for multiplication and division, which are more difficult to implement mechanically. The project was commissioned by the British government, but due to its high production cost, the funding was stopped in the middle and the machine was never completed. First general-purpose computer, analytical engine, 1834. Charles Babbage conceived a more ambitious machine, the first general-purpose programmable computer engine, later called analytical engine. It has many essential features found in the modern digital computer. The machine was programmable using punched cards. The engine had a store where numbers and intermediate results could be held, and a separate mill where the arithmetic operations were performed. The engine was also capable to perform direct multiplication and division, parallel processing, microprogramming, iteration, latching, conditional branching, plus shaping, though Babbage never used these terms. Unfortunately, like difference engine, this machine was also not completed. First computer program, 1841. World's first computer programmer, Ada Lovelace, began translating Luigi Manabria's Italian mathematician records on Babbage's analytical engine in 1841. She understood how to make it do the things computers do, and she suggested the data input that would program the machine to calculate Bernoulli's numbers. Tabulating machine, 1884. After graduation from Columbia University School of Mines in 1879, Herman Hollerith collaborated with his former professor, William Trowbridge, who had received a commission as a special agent for the 1880 census. Over the next 10 years, Hollerith worked on his idea of a machine punch and count cards. During all this time, he was occupied with the problem of automating the tabulation work of the census. By 1890, He had designed machines to record statistics by electrically reading and sorting punched cards that had been numerically encoded by a perforation position. First analog computer, differential analyzer, 1930. Vannevar Bush, MIT engineer, developed the first modern analog computer. It was an analog calculator that could be used to solve some specific set of a differential equation, a type of problem common in engineering and physics applications, which are often very tedious to solve. The machine produced approximate, albeit practical solutions. First working programmable computer, 1941. Conrad Zuse, inventor and computer pioneer, designed the first series of the Z computer in 1936. Z1 was completely mechanical and only worked for a few minutes at a time. It works in Boolean operations and flip-flops based on vacuum tubes. The use of different technology, relay, led to Z2 and eventually Z3. The Z3 was built with 2000 delays, implementing a 22-bit length. Constant data and program code was stored on punched film. Thus, no rewiring was necessary to change programs. Z3 was a secret project of the German government put to use by the German Aircraft Research Institute to perform statistical analysis of wing flutter. The original machine was destroyed in 1943 during an Allied bombardment of Berlin. Generation of computers. Similarly, as humans, computers also have generations. The generation is based on the development of technology used in computing. First generation computers, 1940 to 1956. The first generation of computers was based on vacuum tubes. They were large, had small internal storage, and were very expensive. The punched cards and paper tapes are used to input data. Operating system used was batch operating system. Some of the examples of first-generation computer were Mark I, ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, UNIVAC, Universal Automatic Computer, EDVAC, Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. Disadvantage: they occupy lots of space. They generate lots of heat. The power consumption was too high. They were expensive, non-portable, unreliable, and constant maintenance is required. The speed was very slow. Used machine language only. Not versatile and very faulty. Second generation computers, 1956 to 1963. The second generation computers used the technology of transistors, so they became smaller in size, faster, cheaper, more reliable, better portability, and more efficient than the first generation computers. They used punch cards and paper tapes as input devices. They use assembly language. The use of Fortran, BASIC and COBOL programming languages came into existence. Disadvantages: cooling system was required with constant maintenance. Only used for specific purposes. Costly and non-versatile. Punched cards and paper tapes were used for input devices. Examples of second-generation computers were IBM 1401, IBM 350, UNIVAC 3, RCA 501, NCR 300 series, etc. Third-generation computers, 1964 to 1971. In third-generation computers, the technology of integrated circuits, popularly known as chips, are used. A chip could contain thousands of a transistor within it. Because of this, they became smaller in size as compared to the second-generation computers. They were faster, cheaper, and more efficient. The use of the keyboard as an input device, monitors and printers as output device came into existence. This generation of the computer used operating system, making it possible to run many different applications at one time. Examples of third-generation computers were IBM 360 series and 370 series, ICL 1900, UNIVAC 1108, Apple I and UNIVAC AC 9000, etc. Fourth-generation computers, 1972 to present. The fourth generation of computers is the one which we are using nowadays. The development of microprocessor technology brought a revolution in the generation of computers. Microprocessors are combinations of thousands of integrated circuits onto a single silicon chip using VLSI, very large-scale integration, and ULSI, ultra-large-scale integration techniques. Besides monitor and printer, various new devices such as plotters and speakers have evolved as output devices. These computers are smaller, efficient, reliable, having large storage capacity, very powerful and multitasking. The present-day computer laid the base for the development of networking technology and Internet. Examples of fourth-generation computers are desktop computers, Apple Macintosh, IBM PC, etc.